River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the last episode of Iron Nuts for the week. Gotcha. We're back with another episode. I'm Dan here along with James. James, say hello.
What's up, guys? It's Friday. We gave you the Jimmy B. Indiana Dan parlay on Wednesday. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the Bosa contract, the new salary cap, and yeah, I'm still hating on John a little bit. That's why I said that. But Dan, tell us about what happened.
Okay, so life was a little busy when all this news broke last week. So I do apologize that we couldn't get on here sooner to talk about it. We are taping this on Monday, September 11th. So, I mean, we're talking about it a little sooner, but you guys have known the story for a little bit. So I do apologize for being a little late to the party, but obviously this is some pretty enormous news. At the last possible moment, we had practice last Wednesday. I'm trying to pull up my calendar. Here we go. We had practice on Wednesday the 6th. It was our first actual practice in preparation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then was it that night, I believe? Was it or was it Thursday morning? I can't remember anymore.
It was, I think it was the day before we gave out before the Jimmy B. Indiana Dan parlay show. So I think it was the day before. So right after the Wednesday show where we talked about it. Yeah, it was. That's what I wanted to say because I sent the tweet out literally 3 hours and 43 minutes after our 12 o'clock show on Wednesday. Nick Bosa was signed. John, we know you listen. We know you heard me. We told you to make him the highest paid player. We told you had a little cap space to worry about. And you finally did it. You came through. Soft golf clap. Not a heavy one, but soft golf clap to you, John. Listen, if you want to admit on Niners Twitter that you listen to the podcast, that'd be great. Do us a little favor.
Dude, that was such glorious news. I think I remember now. I think it was at like 4 o'clock our time.
Yeah, it was like 3:43 was when the news broke because I literally tweeted about it because I screenshotted the tweet or I either screenshotted it or I reposted it saying like this literally came out 3 hours and 43 minutes after we had the show.
Yeah, and I've never been so happy to have an episode become irrelevant so fast.
Mm-hmm.
The deal itself, I've basically memorized the deal. Oh, we might have some breaking news. Hold
really?
on.
What's going on?
Yeah, we might have some breaking news.
Let me check Twitter.
My sister just texted me that Aaron only lasted 3 downs or three series or 3 plays. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Aaron lasted 3 whole downs. Yeah, I don't have the game on right now. What? Hold on. I'm going to pull this up real quick because I'm willing to. I'm pulling up the Gamecast. Oh my goodness.
He's being helped off the field. 2 minutes ago, Aaron Rodgers is being helped off the field and Zach Wilson is in.
Oh no.
As reported by Ian Rappaport.
Oh my God. We're taping during this. Oh crap.
All
yeah,
right.
Aaron injured during the play. 1st and 10. He got sacked by Leonard Floyd.
Oh geez.
Oh no. Oh crap.
Oh man.
Oh Jesus. My sister he was down after a sack and called the trainers over. Yeah, I'm taping.
Oh wow.
Wow, okay. We might have to follow up on that a little bit since we're still taping for at least another 20 minutes. That completely sidetracked what I was going to say. I was about to go full cap nerd mode, and
no, I say that's Jets news. Little bit of league news, but not. I mean, we're not talking about the Jets hopes or what they are with this happening. Well, we can talk about that on another show. We are
Yeah,
talking.
we're gonna keep an eye on it. I just personally will keep an eye on it. Sorry, I completely interrupted. That a 4-time MVP got hurt. Sorry about that. That was my genuine live reaction to that. Ours.
I mean, that's crazy, but
yeah, no.
we hope he's okay. We hope he's okay and that he can come back.
Yeah,
I'll
no.
say
I hope Leonard Floyd didn't literally break him. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I'm staying focused on the show though. Bosa's contract. That's what I was gonna say. The contract itself, yes, golf clap for getting it done. And oh my God, did it blow the Aaron Donald contract out of the water? Aaron Donald was 31.7 million a year on his weird. It was an extension, and technically it was a new contract. Whatever. He was making $31.7 million. Bosa's AAV is $34 million, and the guaranteed money is 122.5 to Aaron Donald's 95, I believe it was, or 94. So just here it is, and just punt it away like what the non-quarterback pay record was. But what's even better than that, because yes, those numbers are important, but they're not the real number, so to say. His cap hit for 23 is only $11.5 million. And I think his cap for 24 is, I want to say 16 or $15.5 million. We're not paying him $20 million this year or next year. And then the cap goes up from there to like 25, maybe 26. And then from there, then it gets to like 30 plus million. So it's very, 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 very backloaded. They did what I predicted what was going to happen. A lot of player options, which is just another form of guaranteed payment, basically another form of signing bonus. The actual signing bonus too was $40 million. That's being prorated over 5 years. They did some serious cap magic. If you're a cap nerd like me, when those details finally came out, I think 2 days ago, I think they came out on the 9th or the 8th. Really fascinating the way they backloaded all this. But not only is he only counting $11.5 million this year, we also restructured 3 contracts. We've gotten the contract restructure out of George Kittle, Arik Armstead, and Trent Williams. George was going to make $18 million this year. His salary is only like $1.8 million, I think. Arik went down tremendously, and Trent Williams went down tremendously too. They were both scheduled to make over $20 million, like 23, 25, something like that. Now they're both under 15 as well. So in total, with all that, Nick Bosa's signed. He's getting paid just over $10 million. And all these other guys pushed money down the line. They didn't lose any money. They just pushed it down the line with void years. And we've already played week 1, but we entered week 1 with $41.5 million in cap space. Dude. We went from having one of the worst cap situations in the league to literally having the best. And this gives us options. I am copying a little bit. I'm copying the enthusiasm of David Lombardi because he's an amazing cap nerd like I aspire to be. If we don't use any of this money this year and just stay the status quo, we can have that carry over into next year. And our cap situation is so much more manageable because according to his projection, David's, that's about where we were, somewhere in the low 40s, like 40, 42, I believe, somewhere around there. So we can just have this cap space we have now carry over. We can also sign people if we give up on Minkivitz, or if there is an injury and then there's a veteran out there in free agency that we can sign. Or our draft capital this year is a little bit better than it was last year. We could trade someone and take on a pretty big single season cap hit. We could even consider signing Brandon Ayuk now. We could. I don't know. We signed Nick Bosa, so anything's possible. But dude, our financial guys, I can't remember. I think Brian's his first name. I can't remember our cap guru's name that worked with John Lynch. Genius. Worth every penny that he is salaried for with the team. Just some A+ money magic that's going on with us.
I do like this. I think this is great for the 49ers. I think John did a good job of caving, I'll say. He shouldn't have held it out so long, but probably what was going on was the restructures of those 3 contracts before they could actually sign the money. So I'll take a little crow on that. Maybe John really wasn't screwing the situation up as bad as we thought. Still, though, a good
This
GM.
was chicken. This was chicken, dude.
I
Imagine what
mean,
he was asking for. Imagine what he was asking for with settling for 34 million a year when the record was 31 and a half.
well, I mean, the only thing that you can there's 2 things that you can criticize about this, and I'm going to criticize them. One, it wasn't done sooner. This should have been done by the beginning of the offseason. 2, if you're going to have $41.5 million of cap space and it's coming, then pay for a number one draft pick for Trey Lance. He cut his losses too quick, and he had money coming. He knew it was coming, and he decided not to take on Trey Lance's contract for a first-round draft pick. That's why, yes, I'm still hating a little bit on you, John. Like, that's where I'm criticizing you. Great. You did a great job, finally, of getting the cap space where it's at. The Nick Bosa thing still could have been handled before on the offseason. This could have all been saved with time by starting these talks early and getting things done early. I'll criticize you there. It is great that you have $41.5 million in cap space going into next year, and maybe
the rest of this year.
The rest of this year and next year. Like, that's really good. You can trade now for a big contract if you need to, take on all the money, pay for somebody low. That is a good job by you, John Lynch. But it should have been done earlier. And
are you just personally attacked at all the emotional from a fan, like the emotional, like dragging us along? Like, is that where most of this is, or is it the timeliness? Like, I was a little scared too, for sure. But this is what happens sometimes as a man of faith. Sometimes your faith gets rewarded, but you have to go through a little bit of a test. Hey, we're back. Sorry about that, folks.
Sorry, my dog needed to go to the bathroom and my wife needed wine.
Yes, perfectly valid reasons. I went ahead and topped off my water too. But yeah, no, viewers, you just saw a little part in the interruption graphic. But anyway, was I asking you? I was asking you if it is just more of a procedural thing, like the fact that he took it so long is where you take the most, even though we got it done and we have all this now. Oh, I was saying that as a man of faith, you should appreciate how even when my own faith was wavering a little bit and I was starting to get very concerned myself, look at what the reward was. Like, does the reward not outweigh all that we went through, like scared out of our minds that the Bosa deal wasn't going to get done?
A good GM wouldn't make you go through that. You don't.
We still got there.
You don't need the
and look
trial.
Look at how good we played on Sunday.
Yes, and imagine how you would have felt March 8th when free agency happened if that was the case. And guess what? Imagine the free agents you could have signed if you got it done before then. Like, how stacked would this team would have been if you had an extra $41.5 million in cap space to play with during free agency? Yes.
We still got Javon Hargrave, though.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have gotten maybe another defensive end instead. Mark Jackson or Drake Jackson did look good on Sunday, but I mean, you could have gotten something. You could have done something in the offseason that, yeah, you have Javon Hargrave, but I mean,
There's the faith in the guys that we have in the building, though. Like, no, clearly that was like hanging Javon Kinlaw out to dry. But with the young guys that are already affordable that we have, and then Sealan Farrell was affordable. We brought back a couple guys.
Couldn't you use a right tackle right about now? Like, I mean,
we didn't. I mean, to be fair, we did see him go against TJ Watt, but the faith that they have in this kid, I mean, we're still a little early, but no, like.
Yeah, but imagine getting somebody for like a year or two that he could study behind and learn from instead of just throwing him out there. Like, yes.
Is Jason Peters a tackle or is he a guard?
He's a tackle, but he's a left tackle. He doesn't really play right, but he could probably play right. He was trying to play guard. I believe he played a little bit of right in Dallas last year. But I mean,
yeah, he's a free agent, isn't he?
Yeah, he has a workout with the Seahawks, I believe. That's what came through today.
Okay. I don't know the lineman free agency pool right now, but I mean I don't know. It's hard for me not to trust that they have faith in these guys. And really, if say McKivitz struggles next week against the Rams, like I don't think they're gonna. Aaron Donald works the inside. He's going to be going against. He's going to be going against some young guys. Not our center Brendel, but no, Buford and oh my God, I'm Banks. They held their own against him last year, and they're only going to be better now. But he's not going to be on the inside. They don't have. I don't think they have a rusher nearly as dominant as TJ Watt. So we'll see how he handles next week. Tackle definitely is a position we need to worry about, though. I don't know what the other tackles out there are like, but at the same time, if that's the worst thing that we have going for us right now, I mean, I think we're not in a bad spot, honestly. Our defensive back pool looks really good. Womack's really young, but he's not a starter. Avery Thomas got his crap together. Gibson's still long in the tooth, but he still looks good enough to be a starter. Like, I mean, I don't know. I wish I was in that room to go more in depth about the depth chart, go really into the weeds about how they feel about these guys. But I don't know. Money was definitely a reason at the time we didn't get anybody besides Hargrave. But at the same time, we weren't expecting to get Hargrave. We thought the roster was going to be pretty much the same, and then we got the best available defensive player anyway. Like,
are you sure? Because the Eagles got Jalen Carter in the draft, and
in free agency, I'm saying the best. Defensive player in free agency. We weren't expecting to get this guy. Remember how shocked we were that we signed him to a $20 million a year deal? Like, yeah, he's 20. He's 32. My age.
He's 32. Yeah.
Javon Hargrave's 32?
I believe he's 32, yes.
No way. Finish your thought. I believe 30.
I would have done it earlier. I'm telling you, Howie would have had all of this done by the start of free agency. And with that cap space coming in, knowing that, because the deals were probably being worked out, whatever. He could have waited on Trey Lance for a better offer, especially going into next season when people are evaluating their quarterback room, looking for a young back to grow and mentor in a new system. I mean, he could have taken the whole contract and gotten the number 1 draft pick. That is a serious fumble from John Lynch. Taking that honorable L, you could have waited. You could have waited until the market started burning up for him, because if you would have held on to him this year, at least one more year, you could have taken on his contract to pay for that number 1 draft pick. That's what it would have cost you. And then you would have 2 number 1 draft picks going into the draft. And just imagine, like, you would have gotten it from a team that really needs a quarterback. And where would that draft capital be if that's what you would have waited for, instead of giving a 4th round to Dallas and having them take the contract? I'm sorry. That's where the little bit of John Lynch hate comes from. And I will be critical of that move. I mean, it's really, I don't know what I'm trying to think of the word. Not bad, but I will harp on that. I'm going to harp on that until I know he decides he can get better trade value for a player that he's trying to ship away. That's going to be the mantle that I stand on, because Howie Roseman, if he knew $41.5 million in cap space was coming and he had a young rookie quarterback that he wasted 3 number 1 draft picks for, no, he is not letting him go for anything but a 1, even if he has to take on the full amount of contract. And I will continue to hold every GM in this league up to Howie Roseman, who is a 2-time executive of the year, has won a Super Bowl, has had another team come within 3 points of winning the Super Bowl, discovering Jalen Hurts, pulling off Jalen Carter with the 9th overall pick. He's still playing chess compared to John Lynch playing checkers. And while it's great that John got 41.5, he got Bosa the contract he needed, I'm still quite not as impressed because it happened so late, and he still, with that, knowing that cap room was coming, he could have easily taken on the salary of Trey Lance, a rookie contract. It's a rookie contract. It's not $40 million or anything like that. It's a rookie contract. You know that cap space is coming, and you trade him away for a 4th round pick. That is a seriously egregious bad move. I'm sorry.
Well, the market, by all accounts, was so much less than that.
No. I'm telling you, Carson Wentz wanted to go to Indianapolis. That was the only place he wanted to go. Howie Roseman got a 1st round pick with 1 bidder. Okay? And I'm sorry. If you wait until the end of the season when free agency is about to hit and everybody's evaluating their quarterback room, you would have gotten a number 1 draft pick out of somebody for Trey Lance. Absolutely. Howie Roseman got a number 1 draft pick for Carson Wentz, and there was 1 team in the running. So don't tell me that John Lynch couldn't get a number 1 draft pick for Trey Lance, who barely got any starts, who could legitimately still be a franchise QB, and you give him up for a 4th round draft pick after paying 3 number 1 draft picks to get him, and you could have easily taken on that contract with $41.5 million coming to you. Sorry, that I don't buy this. Market wouldn't have taken it. You wait until after the season's over, when people are evaluating their quarterback room, somebody would have given up a number 1. I guarantee it, and I'm not moving from that.
I believe, I'm not trying to push off of that, because no, when you do compare to other things, like it doesn't look any better that like that we got a 4th and they can say that, oh, well, he was the only person that wasn't offering a 6th or a 7th. Like, yeah, I think what ultimately he decided, the way it seems that he ultimately decided to go about the way that he did, I think he just saw optics as this was just an L from top to bottom, and just decided to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, and just, this was already so bad.
And it was a bad move. That's what I'm saying. It's a bad move. He
wanted to go ahead and just get just away from this for his personal benefit to, yes, he's still the number 2 or even the number 3 right now behind Cooper, but taking that, what John said was correct, Trey came back that day, less than 3 hours later, and said, go ahead and trade me. I think he may have put emotion over a business tactic like what you're saying the tactic should have been, and just said, you know what? This just didn't work out. The reasons for why we can argue forever and ever. This just didn't work out. Yeah, there were going to be arguments like you that he should have just held on to him, put him on the practice squad, just redshirt inactive him the rest of the week and wait for something to come up. But I think John might have thought with his heart a little more than his head on this one, and just said, you know what, like, you won out. We know we're not going to be planning on using you. Like, this has already been an L from top to bottom. Let's just finish off this L cake with another L and just move on. That's what I think. That's what I think. That's the way it comes off to me. What happened? Not that you're wrong. Not that that's not a strategy that could have been taken instead. But I'm autopsying it, and this is the results that I see from my autopsy. If that
you
makes
know
sense.
what? When it comes to GMs, I don't need these honorable L's coming from GMs. Like, let me tell you another little thing. You saw Jalen Reagor play, right, for the Eagles.
Oh yeah.
And how awful he was.
Oh, very.
That was truly like shit. Oh, earmuffs. Sorry, earmuffs. That was really like a moment where he blew a number 1 draft pick. When you take that, like a guy who showed no promise after 1 catch in the NFL, showed no promise, looked awful, completely awful in about, I don't know, he played 3 years for the Eagles, was starting pretty much as the third wide receiver for 3 years. They had him. So how many games is that? That's 48, right? 48, 49.
Roughly, yeah.
48, 49. He got a thorough evaluation out of him. He wasn't worth even a 7th round pick or even a bag of balls. Still, Minnesota gave up a 4th round pick for him. So, sorry, like even a tough L like that, he got really good value out of a player who is now not on an NFL roster.
Did he not sign to a practice squad? I know
no.
Okay, I thought he signed to a practice squad.
He may have, but he is not on an active roster at all.
He's not making. Yeah, the bigger point. No, you're right. He's not making an impact in any way.
And Trey Lance played how many games?
Oh, 5.
Yes, he played 5 games. So nobody knows what this kid can do. It's easy to sell Trey Lance on what he could be, and we'll take the contract, but we want a number 1 draft pick for it. That's really a good deal to anybody, say from 15 to 19 or maybe even 13 to 19th in the draft who needs a quarterback. It's an easy deal to make if you hold him on to the regular season, if you hold on to him just enough to get real offers. And that's on John, especially with $41.5 million coming in salary cap space.
Well, I don't know if we'll know how inevitable that money was. Like, maybe they wouldn't have signed the restructures without Bosa signed first. Maybe that was a condition of it. I understand where you're. No, there's no argument that I can make. There's only what speculation that I can think. Like, we'll never know unless John doesn't tell all book. It's a valid argument. Your GM is awesome. Like, Roseman really is a great GM. I like to still think that my GM is great too.
He's not in the same class. He's not in the same class.
Who else is in the same class as your guy though? Like, really, like, honestly, I'm not even trying to like self-deprecate. Like, your GM is really the only other GM that I could admire more than mine. Like, if Bill Belichick has lost his shine over the past couple years, the Rams GM's gotten a little less good. Like, I don't know better GMs than R2 right now.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Miami's GM. I mean,
I'm not going to, unless the Jaguars get to the AFC Championship, I will not say Trent Baalke.
No, not Trent Baalke. I'm talking about Miami.
Yeah, Miami. No, I was thinking of another. I heard you say Miami. Jaguars came into my head, and it's Trent Baalke, and I'm not going to say his name unless they get to at least to the AFC Championship.
Right. And that's a good and fair point to bring up.
That's a personal gripe on my end, I'll admit.
But look, Miami's
GM is really good.
Yeah, he got 2 number ones added, switched ones for trade lands, and turned it into Tyreek Hill.
No, it's even. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, be sure to say all 3 players that they turned them into.
They turned them into Tyreek Hill. Was it Jalen Waddle?
Yep.
And then Jalen Ramsey?
No, Chubb.
Oh, Nick Chubb.
Not
Not Nick Chubb.
The edge, is that his name? The edge rusher? Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb. Okay, not Nick Chubb. Bradley Chubb.
I was saying Nick Chubb is still chugging away in Cleveland.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I mean,
yeah, the Miami GM definitely won that trade.
Yes,
I can't make any excuses for that. They use that draft capital really well.
Yeah, so I think you're looking at those Howie Roseman's been doing it for longer. So you have to put him at number 1. But if you're going to give me a number 2 GM in the league right now, it's Miami's GM.
He negotiates as hard as a GM as Nick Bosa and Joe Burrow's agent argues as an agent. Dude, You want to talk about somebody swimming in cash and just living their best life right now? Oh my God. I don't know who else he represents, but I don't think it matters with the payday he got from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine who. I mean, he got the highest paid defensive player in the NFL and the highest paid player in the NFL, and those are, once again, Howie Roseman looks like a genius for getting it done early. Jalen Hurts, the first one to sign, got him the sign, and then everybody fell after that. That's what good GMs do. They get ahead of the game. They don't wait. They don't tinker around. They don't drag their feet. They get it done early.
But see, that's a thing. Jalen might have been cool with being the one to start the domino fall. That was probably why Nick and Joe waited, because they wanted to be the last domino. Because you've seen enough times this happen. Somebody sets the bar at the start of the offseason, and then top. Like, maybe Nick and Joe wanted to be those last dominoes, and that's why they held out for so long, because Chris Jones was waiting for a contract. He just got signed today. We don't know what it is. Before we started taping, I did see it was incentive heavy, but there were not any other numbers. So I think my prediction's right. He's still getting a base salary of $19 million, and then it's like 24 in incentives, something like that. I'm speculating, but no, I think that's one last factor to think about too, is that same with Joey, because Joey Bosa had a really long contract negotiation too, because I think they were aware that they didn't want to be topped like the next week later, like Jalen was. Like Jalen got topped like Lamar started it all, then Jalen, then Justin, and yada yada yada. I think they wanted to be those last dominoes to stay on top as long as they could. I think they didn't want to be the trend center. I think they wanted to break those records. Like, does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe
that's more about them. That's more about them than John too. Now that I say that, but
I guess, yeah.
I'm just saying right. I'm just saying it's a theory.
John, you listen to the podcast. I will now, knowing with the information that we have now, knowing that he had $41.5 million in cap space, I will never let it go that you gave trade lands away for a 4th round pick. That will be my criticism of you. Good to you. $41.5 million cap space. Nick Bosa, the highest paid defensive player ever. That's what we told you to do. We told you to get cap space. We told you to sign Nick Bosa less than 4 hours after the show broadcast. That's what happened. So, John, shout us out on Twitter that you love Niner Nuts and that you're an avid listener, because that would really help us out.
Yes. Yes, and I guess I'll I guess it should have always. I guess you could argue that Howie, if we're talking strictly results of first round picks, you would mop the floor with me because John in first round picks, Solomon Thomas, Javon Kinlaw, Trey Lance. Yeah, do I need to say any more? He's not a great track record with them outside of Brandon Ayuk. I think Brandon Ayuk is the only first round pick that we've had actually pan out.
Yeah, and those are the picks that you really need to hit with. Like, I mean, really.
Hey, we got Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, Brandon. you had the number. You went from number 2 to number 3. You got the number 3 overall pick, and you don't hit with that.
Yeah, that was not to harp on it. We do need to get out of here, but no, with how good the other picks are, I mean, it kind of balanced it out. But yeah, no, it's worth noting. John and first round picks are not very good historically. But anyway, not to labor this anymore. We gotta figure out if Aaron Rodgers is really hurt or not.
Yeah.
Look below me, guys. We have a code for Royal Retro Sports. What's Royal Retro Sports? It is the place to go to get your authentic throwback jersey. Basketball fan, baseball fan, football fan. If you want to rock something that will get you to stand out in the crowd, if you want to throw it back to the good old days when your team might have been better than they are now, go to royalretros.com and use the code Shady Sports for 10% off your entire order, not just one item. It goes across your entire order. Shady Sports is the code at royalretros.com. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today and get 10% off your whole order with Shady Sports. Thank you, Sam, for hooking us up.
And guys, now it's my turn to talk about the mantle that we have taken up. Recently, in the last month, we have heard 2 owners acting very badly. Our very owner here for the Niners, Jed York, CEO, I should say, basically insider trading from a very, very awful company. The NFL knew about that, presumably, for 2 years. We tracked the dots, and we believe with full confidence that we can say the NFL knew for about 2 years on that one. And then we have the Houston Texans minority owner who is charged with some very serious sexual charges, 6 counts of sexual assault charges, a couple different kinds, very serious, happened in Kentucky. That's where the charges have been filed, and he is going to stand trial unless he makes some sort of plea deal. NFL knew about that for 3 months, never reported on it until independent reporting agencies reported on both of these owners. And we all know if that was a player, NFL would have said something the very next day. So we are trying to bring owner accountability to the NFL by saying owner standards are less than player standards, hashtag owner accountability. You need to make that go viral. It's on the ticker right below you. And to show you that we put our money where our mouth is, we are selling t-shirts for charity. All the proceeds go to charities for a Kentucky Crisis Center. That's where the crime happened. So we want to help out the community there and give resources to the people who need it most with those situations. And so we have owner standards, less than player standards, hashtag owner accountability. If you want to make a statement with this, but $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. All the proceeds go to charity, but you can get it in a premium long sleeve, pullover hoodie, crew neck, all different sizes. Starts at $22.99 for all our t-shirts. This one especially. The next one, we have our owner standoff shirt. We brought this on for the Dan Snyder campaign, so we have brought it back to help this Kentucky Crisis Center raise money. Once again, $22.99 gets you a premium tee. Next, we have our Niner Nuts podcast art. You'll find this on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. This will be the art on there. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. Then we have the alternate Niner Nuts logo with peanuts, the field goal. This is a great shirt, guys. I own this shirt, $22.99 premium unisex tee to help a crisis center in Kentucky. And finally, we have our official mascot. How can you say no to a cute little peanut eating peanuts with cheering for the San Francisco 49ers and 3D glasses. Guys, this is a great shirt. I also own this one, $22.99. We want you to have a great t-shirt while donating to charity. And yes, all the proceeds go to charity. You can Google Niner Nuts Apparel, bonfire.com. It'll pop right up. Or if you're somebody who likes to type in addresses, right there at the bottom is the address that you can type in into your browser to take you directly to our store on bonfire.com.
Yes, guys, as much as fun as we have talking about football, geez, excuse me, as much fun as we have talking about football and the community it makes and all the good that comes out of it, there are moments like this where it's bigger than football, and we just want to do our part to say we see and acknowledge these things that do come up, and we want to help do our part to raise awareness and I don't know, our own little part to help hold these people accountable that need to be. Because like I said, some things are bigger than football, and this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So get a great t-shirt, donate to charity. All the proceeds go to a Kentucky Crisis Center. And with that said, Dan, other than Aaron Rodgers walking off the field, do we have any other big news?
He's the only thing in the news right now. His x-ray was apparently negative, but he has been ruled out for the game for safety, according to what I'm reading here. Just for safety, his ankle came back negative on the x-ray, but obviously they're
and we got to get an MRI tomorrow, probably, right?
Yeah, the x-ray, let me see. Rodgers was carted to the locker room for x-rays, which ultimately came back negative. Even so, he was promptly ruled out for the remainder of the Monday contest against the Bills. Yeah, he's more than likely going to get an MRI tomorrow, but the x-ray was negative. So, I mean, we'll just have to keep a tab on that the rest of the week. But yeah, now I'm not that excited to turn on this game and watch Buffalo annihilate them even more. But then again, I didn't actually look at what the score was. So, but anyway, finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say that's it for this Friday episode, guys. See you next week on Tuesday. Outro music, River Road, Justin Muth.
Sunday at 4:00. Beat the Rams.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.